There's like a bunch of restaurants down on Fred Douglass. It's wild. It's a totally different place now.
Meet Christina Asensio. She grew up in the South Bronx during the 1980s and during a time that will forever live in infamy.
I lived there until I was 16 and joined the military at 17. Got the hell out of there when I could. You know, the Bronx was like the borough that everybody left. You know, and I keep using the term the Bronx was burning, but that's so true because, you know, on any given day or night, you know, there would be 10, 20 fires in the Bronx, like catastrophic fires, like landlords just literally burning down their own buildings to get the insurance money and to move out to the suburbs, to move upstate, to move to Long Island. You know, even Staten Island and Queens back then were really bad too.
Anyone on this part care to support? I'll buy you some snacks. Snacks, anyone on this side? $1, $1.
Yep. Fremont Avenue. There was a lot of poverty. My parents were very poor. We were on food stamps, you know, 2 steps from homelessness at times because my father, you know, he had trouble keeping a job because, you know, the employment opportunities weren't there for him. So we were poor and we were aware of it. But yeah, this is my building, 261. We lived on the 5th floor. It was one of those things where as I got older, as I got into my teens, I realized I didn't want to live like this. I didn't want to be here. Like this wasn't going to be everything that I would see and experience in my life. So that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I joined the Navy was because I wanted to get out of here. I wanted to get out of New York. I wanted to see different places and meet different people and, you know, I knew that there was a whole expansive place outside of here. I just couldn't, in my mind, unless I physically left here, I couldn't experience it. And so literally 3 weeks before my 18th birthday, I was in boot camp. Turned 18 in boot camp. You know, so I went home on leave. I remember feeling very different. I remember, because my parents were living in Manhattan at that point, and I remember walking through my neighborhood, barely 18, in my dress blue uniform with my sea bag. That's what they call these big green bags. I don't know if you've seen them before. But I had my sea bag, and I was in my dress blues, and I remember just feeling so different already. It was like that sense of being a New Yorker, I had disconnected from it at that point. It was like I was visiting somewhere. Even though this is a city that I grew up in, and this was my home, I was like ready to move on. Up going to Fort Meade, Maryland for a school called Defense Information School. It's basically the Navy's or the Armed Forces version of a journalism school. And that's where I earned my chops, you know. It could be anything. It could be anything on base, a base event, for example. I'd have to do all the interviews, you know, shoot everything, shoot a stand-up like this, you know, looking in the camera, la 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 la, making sure I look good, because we didn't have viewfinders back then like that. We would just look in the lens, and then, you know, go back to my command, drop the tapes in, because this is back when it was tape to tape, reel to reel. I think the reason I left the service, it had everything to do with I just didn't want to, I couldn't in good conscience continue serving, you know, to fight in these wars that I felt like we were wasting time, i.e. Iraq, Afghanistan, that kind of stuff. I was like, I don't want to end up like one of those people coming back fucked up with PTSD, so let me just quietly step out. I got out of the military what I wanted to get out of it, which was 1, to travel the world, 2, to, you know, immerse myself in different cultures, different languages, to see the world, to, you know, to get out of New York, to get out of this neighborhood, you know? And I accomplished that. And it's ironic that I always said to myself, oh, I'd never move back to New York, but I ended up moving back, you know, and I reconnected with my family in a very different way. Like, I've changed, you know? I'm very different.
together.